draw a number line. It doesn't have to be a perfect number line. It has to have 3 things on the number line. That's it, 3 things. 0, -1 1/3, -2. That's it. That's all that needs to be on your number line. 0, -1 1/3, -2. Doesn't have to have all those other tick marks. I don't care. Just has to have 0, -1 1/3, -2. Try to make them approximately this distance. Okay. And then I want you to write these instructions. Find the distance between -1 1/3 and -2 on a number line. Write those instructions down. Find the distance. So we'll only need 3 things. Well, no, it's got to be those 3. That's it. And then write down the instructions, please. Find the distance between -1 1/3 and 2. We have to decipher this problem before we can do it. We have to ask, what is this problem even actually asking us to do mathematically? So we're talking about subtracting things. So today's notes are called subtracting rationals. So what do you think we're going to probably have to do on this problem? We're probably going to have to subtract, but let's talk about why. Let's talk about why. How about this? On my way to work, I pass by this big semi-truck every single morning that's always parked on the side of the road. It's about 1 mile from my house. Work is 2.5 miles from my house. How far apart is the semi-truck from work?
1.5 miles.
1.5 miles. How did you get that? Well, because you could take the 2.5 miles that work is from my house and subtract the 1 mile that the semi is from my house. 2.5 minus 1 is 1.5. So when we're asked to find the distance between these 2 points on a number line, what is this problem actually asking us to do? What's it asking us to do?
Like basically what you would do first is like you draw an arrow from 0 to where like your start is, and then you draw from how far like the semi-truck would be for work, and you draw an arrow from there to where the gymnastics is.
Like this? Now what?
You see how many times it took from 1/3 to get to.
Oh no, the red. Cool, I love this picture, but that picture doesn't tell me what to do. I want to know what to do. What is this problem actually asking me to do? Find the distance between those 2 numbers. What mathematically am I going to have to do?
Subtract the 2 numbers.
I'm going to subtract them. It's literally what it is. The distance means the difference. What's difference mean? The answer to a subtraction problem, right? However, there's one big catch. There's one big catch with distance. Okay? When I subtract these, what's the answer going to be? It's going to be negative. Why is that not possible? Ready? How about this? I'm going to start at 0. Here's 0. I'm going to walk -2 steps. How far did I travel?
2 steps.
No, I traveled -2 steps, right?
No.
Why?
Because you can't go negative, you should go down.
But I went to -2.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I did. I started at 0 and went to -2.
No, you didn't. And this is why you're negative.
In distance, you can't go negative. Negative distance is a direction. Can my distance be negative? No. That's the big catch. Anytime you see a distance question, your answer is always positive. Which means it's the absolute value. Guys, remember that? The way to make things positive all the time is absolute value. So, Keegan wasn't wrong. He said, well, to find the distance, I need to subtract them, right? So let's subtract them. -2 minus -1/3, right? When I do this, I got my negative ninja coming out. Boom, boom. This is an addition problem now, right? Same sign add, different sign subtract. We keep the sign of the bigger, what? So why, but it's going to be negative, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not, because what we are going to do is we are going to do this. Why? Because we know distance must be positive, and we know how do we make things positive no matter what? We make them an absolute value. I traveled -2, right? Absolute value. Didn't I travel absolute value of -2? Yes, I did. So that's what distance is. Distance is the absolute value. Now let's do this problem and finish it up. Okay, so 2 minus -1/3 is the same thing as -2 plus 1/3. Same sign, add. Different signs, subtract. So let's subtract. The bigger one's going to go on top. So 2 minus 1/3. I have a couple of placeholder zeros I need to put in, don't I? 0/3 and 0, right? Now, many of you guys might be able to just think about this one and know what the answer is going to be. 2 minus 1/3 would be 1/3 less than 2. So 1 and 2/3. Several of you probably can do that when you're ahead, but for those of you who can't, we're setting it up. Now to do the subtraction, I subtract the fractions first. 0 minus 1 doesn't work out well. I'm going to have to borrow, won't I? This becomes 1. I'm not going to borrow 10, I'm going to borrow 3. 3/3, so this becomes 3/3. 3/3 minus 1/3 is 2/3. 1 minus 0 is, and it's negative, right? It technically is negative, but it's the absolute value, isn't it? So my answer is 1 and 2/3. So what's the distance? Distance must be positive. So if I see the word distance, I don't technically need to do absolute value. Because remember when we were figuring out signs? It's positive because it's distance. Distance is always going to be subtraction, but the answer is going to be positive. One more last thinking question. I'll read this out loud. You don't have to copy this one down. This is a thinking question. Temperature, there's a telescope that's measuring temperature on Earth's orbit. The number line shows that the temperature on the hot side is 185 degrees, very hot. But the temperature on the cold side is -388. Find the what? Distance between the points. How do I find the distance between those points? What do I do? What do? I find the of their what? Distance is the difference, okay? But it's always positive. So how would I set this problem up? What is distance? Distance is the, how do we find the difference between two numbers? So what should I do? Subtract what? What do I subtract on this problem? Can you estimate that? 200, 400, -400. What's the distance going to be? Approximately what? What's the distance between 200 and -400? How can the distance be 200 if the distance from 200 to 0 is 200? How about the distance from 200 to -400? I send one of you 200 steps that way, I send one of you 400 steps that way. How many steps are there? Difference is subtraction. You need to actually do it. 185 minus -388. Why -388? Because that's what the number is. It's still subtraction. Name Ninja, what do we do now? Add them together, it's about 600. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to think about numbers on a number line as a distance. It's about 400 to 200. 400 in the negative, 200 in the positive gives us about 600 total. About 600 total.